Listen, I need to be honest with you. There's a 70% chance you're completely wrong about where you stand financially. And I'm not trying to be mean. I was wrong too. See, 70% of Americans believe they're middle class. But here's the kicker. Only 50% actually are, which means millions of people are walking around either overestimating their wealth or, and this is the interesting part, they're actually richer than they think. And today, I'm going to show you exactly which category you fall into. But before we dive in, we need to talk about something that's going to blow your mind. Middle class isn't even middle class anymore. Yeah, you heard that right. We now have lower middle class, middle class, and upper middle class, because apparently life wasn't complicated enough, right? And here's where it gets even more confusing. The income range for middle class spans from $30,000 all the way up to $153,000. Let me say that again. Someone making $30,000 and someone making $153,000 are both considered middle class. Does that make any sense to you? Because it doesn't to me. A person making $30,000 in Des Moines, Iowa is living a completely different life than someone making $153,000 in Los Angeles. They're buying different groceries, living in different homes, and definitely not driving the same cars. So today, I'm going to cut through all the BS and show you where you actually rank by income, where you rank by net worth, which is way more important, what your retirement account should look like at your age, and what millionaires are doing differently that you're probably not. First, let's talk about net worth, because this is where most people get confused. Your net worth is simple math. Everything you own minus everything you owe. So you add up your home value, your car value, savings and checking accounts, and retirement accounts like your 401k or IRA. Then you subtract your mortgage balance, credit card debt, car loans, and student loans. What's left? That's your net worth. And here's something important. Most people in their 20s have a low or even negative net worth. That's normal. It slowly increases as you age, save more, and pay down debt. But here's what's not normal. The median retirement savings in America is just $8,900. Let me put that in perspective for you. If you're in your 60s right now, the median balance is around $207,000. Now, financial experts recommend the 4% rule for retirement. You can withdraw 4% per year without running out of money. 4% of $207,000 is $8,280 per year. That's $690 per month. Even with Social Security, that's barely enough to survive. And 66% of Americans, that's 2 out of every 3 people watching this video right now, believe they're falling behind on retirement savings. So if you're feeling stressed about money, you're not alone. But here's the thing. Feeling stressed isn't going to fix it. We need a plan. Let's break down the income levels by class. This is based on 2022 census data. So keep in mind, everything's a bit higher now with inflation. The income brackets. Lower class is $30,000 or less. Lower middle class is $30,000 to $58,000. Middle class is $58,000 to $94,000. Upper middle class is $94,000 to $153,000. And upper class is $153,000 or more. The median income, the exact middle, is around $74,000. Now, I want you to pause for a second. Where do you fall in these ranges? But here's why I don't love looking at income alone. I know couples making $200,000 a year who are still living paycheck to paycheck. They're technically upper class by income, but they have zero retirement savings, and they're drowning in debt. Meanwhile, I know people making $75,000 who are killing it because they're smart with their money. So income is just one piece of the puzzle. This is where things get real. Net worth is a much better indicator of your financial health because it shows your actual habits. Median net worth by class. Lower class has $12,000. Lower middle class has $61,000. Middle class has $145,000. Upper middle class has $269,000. And upper class has $805,000. Notice something interesting? The upper middle class has $269,000 in net worth, but the upper class jumps to $805,000. That's nearly triple. And by age group, it makes sense that older people have more. Except for those 75 and older, because they're already living off their investments and it starts tapering down. Here's the key insight. Time is your best friend when it comes to investing. If you invest for just 1 month, you have a 62% chance of making money in the stock market. But if you hold investments for 15 years or more, you have nearly a 100% chance of making money. This is why I'm always preaching long-term investing. The odds are literally in your favor. Now, I want to talk about something personal for a second. I have neighbors who drive Porsches, BMWs, and even an Aston Martin. Meanwhile, I drive an 8-year-old Ford F-150 that still looks brand new. Here's the kicker. Those neighbors are still working. They're probably going to work for several more decades. And me? I retired young. Why? Because I didn't fall into the lifestyle creep trap. See, just because someone looks wealthy doesn't mean they are wealthy. In fact, I had a viewer comment on one of my videos saying my house doesn't look like I'm wealthy. And you know what? I took that as a compliment. Because true wealth isn't about flashy cars or designer clothes. True wealth gives you something that's actually invaluable. Freedom. Freedom to do what you want, when you want. Freedom to be present for your family. Freedom to not stress about money every single day. If you're a slave to your debt and the objects you own, then you need to reevaluate what's actually important in life. So what sets the upper class apart? How are they building wealth differently? According to the IRS, the average millionaire has exactly 7 sources of income. Let me list them out. Number 1, dividend income from stocks. Number 2, paycheck from a job. Number 3, rental income from real estate. Number 4, royalty income. Number 5, capital gains from selling appreciated assets. Number 6, interest from bank accounts. And number 7, profits from a business. This is the big one. Now, you've probably heard the saying from Andrew Carnegie, 90% of millionaires come from real estate. That used to be true, but experts believe that in today's environment, most millionaires are building wealth through business ownership. This is why side hustle content is everywhere right now. People are waking up to the fact that you can't just rely on a paycheck anymore. So, quick question for you. Drop a comment and let me know. How do you think you're going to make your first million? Real estate or building a business? Now let's talk about the future, because this is where things get really eye-opening. I've run the numbers accounting for 3.28% annual inflation, and here's what these class brackets will look like in the future. In 10 years, upper class will break $1 million in median net worth. In 20 years, middle class will have what upper middle class has today. All classes nearly double from current numbers. In 30 years, upper class median net worth will be nearly $2 million. The goalposts keep moving, folks. What seems like enough today won't be enough tomorrow. And for retirement accounts with inflation, if you're in your 20s today, by the time you're in your 50s, which is 30 years from now, you'll need at least $682,000 in retirement savings just to match today's median. I'm going to say that again. $682,000 is the minimum bar. So what do you do with all this information? Here are your action steps. Step 1. Calculate your actual net worth right now. Assets minus liabilities. Be honest with yourself. Step 2. Figure out where you rank. Are you lower class, middle class, or upper class by net worth? Step 3. Set a retirement goal. Don't just wing it. Calculate what you'll need based on inflation and your age. Step 4. Start investing now. Remember, time is your best friend. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. Step 5. Avoid lifestyle creep. Every time you get a raise, invest at least 50% of it instead of upgrading your lifestyle. Step 6. Build multiple income streams. You don't need 7 like millionaires do, but aim for at least 3. Step 7. Focus on net worth, not income. A high income means nothing if you're drowning in debt. Look, I know this video might have been a reality check for some of you. Maybe you realized you're not as far ahead as you thought, or maybe you realized you're actually doing better than you expected. Either way, the most important thing is that you're here, you're learning, and you're taking control of your financial future. Remember, it's never too early to start, and it's never too late to course correct. If you found this helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more no BS financial content. And if you want to learn about the best ETFs to invest in, I've got a video right here that breaks it all down. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.